The moving truck pulled up to the curb in Brooklyn just as the sun dipped below the skyline, casting a golden hue over the brownstone buildings. I, Alex Thompson, lugged my last box up the narrow stairs, heart pounding not just from the effort, but from the nerves of starting fresh in a new city. Little did I know, my new roommate Jake, tall, athletic, and as straight as they come, would turn my world upside down in ways I never imagined. We met through a Craigslist ad. I needed a place after my breakup with my ex, who couldn't handle the complications of my being gay in a small-town mindset. Even though we'd moved to New York for a fresh start, Jake seemed perfect. A software engineer, clean-cut, with references praising his reliability. Our first handshake was firm, his blue eyes meeting mine without a hint of judgment. "Welcome home, man," he said, clapping me on the back like we were old buddies. That first night, we ordered pizza and cracked open a couple of beers on the worn leather couch in our cramped living room. The apartment was a steal. High ceilings, exposed brick, but shared space meant no secrets. Jake talked about his life. Grew up in a conservative family in Texas, played football in college, dated a string of cheerleader types. "I'm all about keeping things simple," he said, laughing. I nodded, sharing bits about my graphic design job and my love for indie films. Inside, I felt a familiar pang, attraction mixed with caution. He was straight. I knew better than to hope. Days turned into weeks, and our routine settled in like a comfortable rhythm. Mornings, Jake would brew coffee strong enough to wake the dead, handing me a mug with a grin. "Fuel for the artist," he'd tease. I'd roll my eyes, but secretly cherish those moments. Evenings, we'd binge-watch shows, debating plot twists until midnight. He was easy to talk to, open in a way that surprised me. One night, after a particularly bad day at work where a client dismissed my ideas, Jake listened without interrupting. "Screw them, Alex. You're talented as hell." His words warmed me more than the blanket we shared. But cracks started showing in our perfect setup. Jake's family called often. His mom with her southern drawl, asking about girlfriends. "Still single, honey? You need to settle down." He'd laugh it off, but I noticed the tension in his jaw. One evening, he slammed his phone down after a call. "They don't get it," he muttered. I probed gently. "Get what?" He hesitated, then confessed, "That I'm not ready for that life. Marriage, kids, the whole package." It was vague, but something in his eyes hinted at more. Social conflicts crept in subtly at first. Our building had a mix of neighbors. Mrs. Rivera downstairs, who baked cookies and asked about my boyfriend. Assuming Jake and I were a couple, we'd laugh it off, but Jake's cheeks would flush. Then there was the block party, where a drunk guy from across the street made a snide remark about fags ruining the neighborhood. Jake stepped in before I could, his voice low and threatening. "Watch your mouth." Later, alone, he apologized profusely. "That shit pisses me off." I thanked him but wondered why it affected him so deeply. As autumn leaves blanketed the streets, our bond deepened. Jake started opening up about his past. A high school crush on a guy he never acted on, dismissed as confusion. "Everyone experiments, right?" he said one night over whiskey. My heart raced. Was this a sign? I shared my coming-out story. The rejection from my dad, the therapy sessions to rebuild. He listened, his hand brushing mine accidentally? Or was it? The air thickened with unspoken questions. Tensions escalated when Jake's ex-girlfriend, Sarah, visited from Texas. She was all smiles, but her eyes narrowed at me. "So, you're the roommate," she said, tone dripping with suspicion. Over dinner, she grilled him about our living situation. "Isn't it weird sharing space with, you know?" Jake defended me fiercely. "Alex is family." But after she left, he was distant, pacing the apartment. "She thinks there's something going on," he admitted. I laughed it off, but inside hope flickered. Was there? One rainy afternoon, I found Jake staring at his laptop, face pale. "What's wrong?" I asked. He closed it quickly. "Nothing." But I glimpsed the tab, an article on bisexuality. My mind spun. That night, over takeout, I confronted him gently. If there's something you want to talk about, he sighed, running a hand through his hair. Alex, I think I might not be as straight as I thought. The words hung heavy, a turning point that promised joy but foreshadowed storms. Our conversations turned intimate, exploring feelings he'd buried. Society's expectations weighed on him, his family's religious views, friends' macho culture. What if they disown me? He whispered. I reassured him, drawing from my own battles, but doubts crept in. Was I pushing him? The drama intensified when his brother visited unannounced, catching us in a close moment. Nothing explicit, just a hug that lingered. What the hell is this? He demanded. Jake froze, the conflict tearing him apart. The fallout from Jake's brother's visit was immediate and brutal. Mark, a burly construction worker with the same Texas twang, stormed out after accusing us of perverting the family name. Jake sat on the couch, head in hands, while I paced, anger boiling. He's wrong, Jake. You don't owe him an explanation. But Jake's eyes were distant. He's blood, Alex. This could ruin everything. In the days that followed, Jake withdrew. He'd come home late from work, avoiding eye contact. I gave him space, but the apartment felt colder. One evening, I found a note. Need time to think. Staying at a hotel. My stomach dropped. Had I misread everything? The silence amplified my insecurities. Memories of my ex, who bailed when things got real. I threw myself into work, designing logos that screamed rebellion, but inside, I ached. Social ripples spread. Word got back to our friends' circle. My buddy Chris, openly gay and cynical, warned me. Straight guys experimenting? It's a recipe for heartbreak. Jake's friends, a group of bro types from his gym, started texting him memes that mocked going gay. He showed me one, laughing bitterly. See what I'm up against? We talked late into the night, dissecting the prejudices. Society says men like me don't exist, he said. Bi? That's just a phase. A turning point came at a local LGBTQ event I dragged him to, a panel on coming out in conservative families. Speakers shared stories of rejection and reconciliation. Jake listened intently, squeezing my hand under the table. Afterward, in a quiet bar, he confessed more. In college, there was this guy on the team. We almost, but I chickened out. Tears welled in his eyes. I regret it. I leaned in, our foreheads touching. You don't have to regret anymore. But drama peaked when Jake's parents called for a surprise visit. Panicked, he suggested I act straight around them. Just for the weekend. Hurt flashed through me. Hide who I am? Who we are. The argument escalated, voices raised. I'm not ready, he shouted. You don't understand the pressure. I stormed out, wandering Brooklyn's streets, questioning if love was worth this erasure. Reconciliation came slowly. Jake found me at our favorite coffee shop the next morning, eyes red from lack of sleep. I'm sorry. You're right. I can't hide. We hugged, the embrace charged with emotion. His parents arrived that afternoon, all hugs and homemade pie. Dinner was tense. His mom probed about my status. Single, I said neutrally. Jake interjected. Alex is amazing, Mom. The best roommate. Later, alone, he whispered, one step at a time. As winter set in, our relationship evolved. Stolen glances turned to tentative touches, holding hands on walks, a kiss goodnight. But external conflicts mounted. At work, Jake faced whispers after a colleague saw us at a gay bar. Is he? The rumor mill churned, affecting his promotions. He confided in me, frustration evident. Why does my personal life matter? I shared my own battles. Clients pulling projects after learning I'm gay. It's the world we live in, I said. But we fight it together. A controversial twist hit when Sarah returned, armed with ultimatums. Choose, me or this phase. Jake met her at a cafe, me waiting anxiously at home. He returned resolute. It's over with her. For good. Relief washed over me, but guilt followed. Had I influenced him? That night we debated ethics. Was it fair to pull someone from their straight life? It's not pulling, he insisted. It's awakening. Family tensions boiled over during Christmas. Jake invited me to Texas, but I declined, fearing backlash. He went alone, promising to address things. Calls were sparse. When he returned, bruises marked his face. "Dad and I fought," he admitted. "Not physical, just words. But it hurt." The revelation. His father called him a disappointment, quoting Bible verses. Jake's resolve hardened. "I'm done pretending." Our bond strengthened amid the chaos. We attended therapy together, unpacking traumas. Sessions revealed Jake's internalized homophobia, rooted in upbringing. "I love you, Alex," he said one session, the words electric. My heart soared, but doubts lingered. Society's gaze was unrelenting. Stares on the subway, slurs from passers-by. One night, a group of teens harassed us. Jake stood tall, protecting me. "Back off." The incident shook us, sparking debates on safety versus authenticity. As spring approached, hope bloomed. Jake came out to a few friends, reactions mixed. Some supported, others ghosted. The losses stung, but gains mattered more. We planned a trip to San Francisco, a haven for us. En route, he proposed we make it official. "Boyfriends," I teased. "More than that," he replied. Yet, underlying conflicts simmered. Jake's job offered a transfer to a more conservative state. Better pay, but the implication hung. Would he sacrifice us for career? The question loomed, testing our foundation. The job offer from Jake's company hung over us like a storm cloud, forcing choices that neither of us wanted to make. Relocating to Atlanta meant higher salary, but also immersion in a culture less forgiving of our relationship. "It's just business," Jake said, but his voice wavered. I pushed back. "Business that could erase us." The argument revealed deeper fissures, his fear of financial instability versus my need for visibility. We sought solace in routine, but societal pressures infiltrated even that. At a neighborhood barbecue, a well-meaning neighbor asked Jake about settling down with a nice girl. He deflected awkwardly, later venting to me. "Why assume? It's exhausting." I empathized, recalling my own family's initial rejection. "Change takes time," I said, but time felt scarce. The pivotal moment came during Pride Month. I convinced Jake to march with me in New York's parade. Colors everywhere, crowds cheering, it was liberating. Jake held my hand publicly for the first time, a smile breaking through his nerves. "This feels right," he whispered amid the chants. But backlash followed. Photos surfaced on social media, reaching his family. His sister called, supportive but warning. Mom's heartbroken. The emotional toll mounted. Internal conflicts raged too. Jake struggled with labels. Am I bi? Gay? Does it matter? We explored through books and podcasts, but answers eluded. One night, doubt crept in. "What if this is a mistake?" he asked. My heart clenched. "Is that how you feel?" Tears flowed as we unpacked. His guilt over betraying his straight identity. My fear of being a rebound. Resolution came at dawn. "I choose you, labels be damned." External drama escalated with a workplace scandal. Jake's boss, a devout conservative, demoted him subtly after learning of his orientation. Performance issues. The email read, but we knew better. Jake filed a complaint, igniting a battle against discrimination. Media picked up the story anonymously, sparking online debates. Supporters praised his courage. Trolls spewed hate. "Fags don't belong in tech," one comment read. The vitriol tested our resilience. Amid the turmoil, tender moments anchored us. A quiet picnic in Central Park, sharing dreams. Jake wanting kids someday, me envisioning a life together. "We could adopt," he suggested tentatively. The idea warmed me, but reality intruded. Adoption for gay couples in some states was contentious. "Society's not there yet," I said. The conversation turned heated, highlighting divides. Family reconciliation attempts added layers. Jake's mom visited unexpectedly, bearing olive branches. Over tea, she confessed ignorance. "I don't understand, but I love you." Tears flowed. Progress, but incomplete. She eyed me warily. Is he good for you? Jake nodded firmly. The best. Her departure left hope, but also unresolved pain. As summer heated up, a controversial decision loomed. Jake turned down the transfer, choosing us over advancement. You're my future, he declared. Joy surged, but sacrifices weighed. He took a pay cut, straining finances. Bills piled. Arguments over money ensued. We could have had security, I snapped once. At what cost? He countered. The strain revealed vulnerabilities, my trust issues from past relationships, his impatience with change. A shocking twist arrived via an old friend of Jake's. Mike, from college, confessed lingering feelings. I always knew about you, he told Jake over drinks, me present. Jealousy flared in me. Was this competition? Jake reassured. That's the past. But the encounter stirred doubts, leading to a night of raw honesty. I experimented once, Jake admitted. But it wasn't love. Relief mixed with empathy. Societal debates amplified through current events. A Supreme Court ruling on LGBTQ rights dominated news, polarizing opinions. Jake's family split, his dad silent, mom advocating quietly. We attended rallies, voices joining thousands. Empowerment surged, but exhaustion followed. Is it worth the fight? Jake asked wearily. Every day, I replied. Our relationship deepened, intimacy built on trust. Late nights discussing futures, vulnerabilities shared. But a health scare tested us. Jake's routine checkup revealed stress-related issues. Blame the drama, the doctor said. I nursed him, roles reversing. I can't lose you, I whispered. The vulnerability bonded us further. As fall returned, stability seemed within reach. Jake started a side hustle coding apps for LGBTQ causes. Turning pain into purpose, he said. I designed the logos, collaboration fueling passion. Friends rallied, hosting a small coming-out party. Toasts raised, but absences noted, lost connections stung. Yet, undercurrents of conflict persisted. Jake's brother reached out apologetically. I was wrong. Reconciliation tentative, but meaningful. The journey highlighted growth, but also the ongoing battle against prejudice. Highs and lows intertwined. Our story a tapestry of love amid adversity. Questions lingered. Could we sustain this against the world? With winter's chill settling over Brooklyn once more, our lives took on a fragile normalcy, punctuated by lingering societal skirmishes. Jake's advocacy app gained traction, drawing both praise and backlash. Online forums debated its merit, woke nonsense versus vital resource. The controversy invigorated him, but drained me. We're making a difference, he insisted. I nodded, hiding fatigue. Personal choices loomed large. We discussed moving in together fully, no more roommates facade. A real home, Jake dreamed, but affordability in New York was a barrier. Debates turned tense. Stay and struggle, or relocate to a cheaper, potentially less accepting area? Compromise is key, I said. He agreed reluctantly, eyes betraying worry. Family dynamics shifted dramatically. Jake's dad called after months of silence, voice gruff. Heard about your situation. Awkward conversation ensued, ending in tentative acceptance. As long as you're happy. Tears streamed down Jake's face post-call. It's a start. I held him, marveling at progress, but wary of backslides. Social circles evolved too. My friends embraced Jake, but his lost some. A former buddy confronted him. You've changed. Jake stood firm. For the better. The exchange highlighted isolation's cost. We built new alliances, joining a support group for mixed-orientation couples. Stories shared mirrored ours. Confusion, love, societal pushback. A contentious event arose at my workplace. A client, upon learning of my relationship, pulled a major contract. Personal values clash. Outrage fueled me to speak out on LinkedIn, post going viral. Support poured in, but so did hate mail. Jake worried for my safety. Tone it down, he suggested. Never, I retorted. The clash revealed differing risk tolerances, his caution versus my defiance. Intimacy grew amid strife, quiet evenings cooking together, sharing laughs over mishaps. "You're my anchor," Jake murmured one night. Warmth enveloped us, but external storms brewed. A local election brought anti-LGBTQ rhetoric to the forefront. We canvassed against it, doors slammed in faces. "Why bother?" a neighbor sneered. Perseverance bonded us. A surprising revelation from my past added drama. My ex contacted me, regretting our split. I was scared. Jake overheard, jealousy sparking. "Do you still feel something?" Accusations flew. "No, it's you I want." The fight cleared air, reaffirming commitment. "We're in this," he said. As spring thawed the city, opportunities arose. Jake's app secured funding from a progressive investor. This could change everything. Excitement bubbled, but strings attached. Relocate to California for oversight. The dilemma resurfaced: uproot or stagnate. Hours of discussion ensued, weighing pros and cons, our happiness first. I urged. Cultural clashes intensified during a family reunion Jake hosted. Relatives mixed reactions. Aunts hugging us, uncles averting eyes. A cousin's slur ignited chaos. Jake ejected him, family divided. "Blood doesn't excuse bigotry," he declared. The incident empowered, but fractured ties. Emotional depths plumbed in therapy. Jake unpacked childhood expectations, football hero, family man. I never fit. I shared abandonment fears. Breakthroughs fostered understanding, love deepening. "You're my choice," he affirmed. Yet, societal debates raged on. A friend's wedding excluded us due to traditional values. Hurt, we hosted our own gathering, celebrating love unbound. Guests toasted resilience to defying odds. High drama peaked with a public confrontation. At a protest against discriminatory laws, counter-protesters clashed. Jake shielded me from a thrown object, minor injury ensuing. Hospital wait amplified fears. "I can't imagine life without you," I confessed. The scare solidified unity. Recovery brought reflection. We planned a commitment ceremony, small, symbolic. Invites sent, responses varied. Jake's mom attended, dad absent. Vows exchanged amid tears. Through storms and sun, joy overshadowed absences. But post-honeymoon phase, realities bit. Financial strains from app development mounted. Jake worked overtime, distance growing. "We need balance," I pleaded. Adjustments made, but tensions simmered. As summer sizzled, a career breakthrough for me. A gallery show featuring LGBTQ-themed art. Jake beamed proudly at the opening. Critics raved, but conservatives boycotted. "Art as activism," one review praised. The exposure brought opportunities and threats. Our story, once private, inspired others. A young man emailed Jake, "Your journey gives me hope." Motivation renewed, but exhaustion crept. "Is the fight endless?" Jake wondered. "Yes, but worth it," I replied. Climax built toward a pivotal choice. Accept the California move. Pros: acceptance, growth. Cons: leaving roots. Debates raged, emotions high. Together, anywhere, Jake decided. The move to San Francisco marked a new chapter. The city's fog-shrouded hills a metaphor for our uncertain future. We packed the apartment, memories boxed alongside belongings. Jake's hand in mine at the airport steadied nerves. "Adventure awaits," he said, smile masking apprehension. Settling in brought immediate contrasts. The Bay Area's vibrancy embraced us. Rainbow flags everywhere, communities thriving. Jake's app flourished under investor guidance, downloads surging. I freelanced, designs resonating in progressive circles. But homesickness hit Jake hard. "Miss the East Coast grit," he admitted. Calls home were bittersweet, families' acceptance slow. Social integrations varied. New friends welcomed us warmly, but old wounds resurfaced at events. A panel on bisexuality featured Jake as speaker. He shared vulnerably, "Labels confined me. Love freed me." Applause thundered, but Q&A turned contentious. "You're confusing kids," an attendee accused. Jake countered calmly, "Truth isn't confusion." The exchange sparked media buzz, polarizing opinions. Personal growth accelerated. Jake explored identity further, attending workshops. "I'm bi and proud." Affirmation strengthened us, but I grappled with insecurities. "Am I enough?" Therapy helped, revealing my fear of inadequacy. "You're everything," Jake reassured. Conflicts arose unexpectedly. A colleague flirted with Jake, testing boundaries. "Just friendly," he insisted. Trust strained briefly, resolved through communication. "Monogamy matters," we agreed. The incident highlighted vulnerabilities in open environments. Family bridges mended gradually. Jake's dad visited, awkward but earnest, trying to understand. Shared meals bridged gaps, stories exchanged. Progress, though imperfect. My family, long supportive, hosted virtually, warmth transcending distance. Societal battles persisted. Legislation threats loomed, mobilizing us. We volunteered, voices amplifying. "Equality isn't optional," Jake rallied. Exhaustion mounted, but purpose sustained. Intimate moments fortified. Sunset walks along the Golden Gate. Dreams whispered. "Kids someday?" Jake mused. Adoption research began, navigating legal mazes. Hope flickered amid hurdles. A major crisis struck. Jake's app faced a lawsuit from conservative groups claiming indoctrination. Legal fees drained savings, stress peaking. Fight or fold? Debates raged. We chose fight, crowdfunding success restoring faith. Victory in court vindicated, but scars remained. Reflection deepened our bond. Anniversaries celebrated milestones, from roommates to partners. "Best decision ever," Jake toasted. Yet, doubts occasionally surfaced. "What if society wins?" Pondered. Jake's response, "Love already has." As years blurred, our story inspired a book deal, Jake's memoir. Writing unearthed buried emotions, cathartic yet challenging. Publication sparked debates. Romanticizes confusion versus authentic journey. In quiet evenings, we pondered legacies. Did we change anything? The answer, incrementally, yes. Our path, fraught with drama, logic, and choices, culminated in enduring love. But questions remain. Is it true that societal labels can never fully define the complexities of human desire, or do they inevitably shape our destinies?